Hey everyone, I'm Samaker or just Sam, and welcome to a short video where I will tell you everything you need to know about whether an i5 will bottleneck or at all impact your performance with the GTX 1080 graphics card. Now, I don't actually have a 1080 because I'm a broke pleb who can't afford one, so the benchmarks you see in this video will not be my own. If you want to know where they came from, you can go to the description and have a look. So, with that out of the way, let's get into the meat of the video. To quickly answer a few simple questions, will an older i5, let's say from around 2010, bottleneck a 1080? The answer to that is short and simple, yes. For the most part, it will limit your graphics card, and where it doesn't really bottleneck your 1080, it will still have an impact on your performance when paired with a 1080. You should not pair a several generation old i5 with a 1080. Now, before we move on, let me just say that the relevancy of this video does depend on what games you want to play and if you want to do other processor heavy things such as rendering videos or 3D modeling, in which case, yes, absolutely get a better processor if you can afford it. If you just want to play one or two games and you know that none of them are processor heavy, then of course you should be alright with a decent i5. Some games depend on your processor more than others, and whilst not all games will show a remarkable difference from a better CPU, when comparing something like the standard i5 and i7 of this generation, the 6600K and 6700K respectively, there will still be some difference in performance in pretty much every game you play. Considering the price difference between the 6600K and 6700K in this case, you're actually getting more FPS per buck when going for a 6700K rather than a 6600K, compared to going for a 1080 rather than a 1070. That is of course when paired with a 1080 itself. So if you thought the jump from a 1070 to 1080 was worth the money, you definitely shouldn't skimp out on the processor and go for the bare minimum of an i5 6600K. You'll most likely end up losing out. There are a few games like Battlefield 1, BeamNG and City Skylines that rely unusually much on your processor, and if you go for the i5 in this case, you are going to notice a difference. When paired with a very powerful graphics card like the 1080, subpar processors just don't cut it, and you are not going to get the performance you paid for. I want to keep this video short and concise, so I'm not going to dig any deeper into the number crunching and comparisons of different processors than I already have. To sum this video up real quick in case you weren't quite able to tag along, yes, even a newer i5 will sometimes bottleneck your 1080 and in most cases have a small but considering the money quite big performance impact. It is not worth the money you save when buying an i5 6600K instead of an i7 like the 6700K if you're already spending the money to get a 1080 instead of a 1070. If you're short on money and don't want to bang out those extra bucks for more performance, then it's definitely not worth getting a 1080 instead of something like a 1070 or even a 1060. Do the math and ask yourself why you're buying what you're buying, and don't just buy the most expensive graphics card because you want all them frames and all them pixels.